what do you call it? No, that's Ronaldo. Here we are. A video upon that. So we had essentially created ourselves AI characters. These AI characters are people that we went and essentially, in a way, to best describe it for those of you that don't know what's kind of going on, it's like creating a character within Skyrim. What's another game? Like Borderlands, where you have skill traits and you have like certain psychographics that you would fill out in terms of what it is you want to do. And then you also have a consumer profile in terms of their background. So, my character's name is Ileana Brooks. The basic info for this person that I didn't create because my character was Ronaldo Ventura. Ileana Brooks, the basic info. She is 16, not in a relationship. Her career and lifestyle, she's a fashion influencer, self-employed. Her social presence, she's on Facebook, Snapchat, and Pinterest. Personal life, still lives at home with parents, and they have two cats, one dog, but don't own a car. Her interest, fashion and styling and shopping, social media content creation, going out and getting food, right? Her personality and vibe, I bring a lot of positive energy and love to live in the moment. So she's very much sporadic, and she's big on social media in terms of wanting to become an influencer. Okay. Her beliefs and background, culturally Jewish, but not very observant. Anyways, politically, when I'm 18, I'll be registered independent since I don't pay much attention to politics. Okay. Keep in mind, this character is completely fake. And for those of you that are kind of watching, that might be wondering, this is what Ileana Brooke looks like. We had this character essentially created with ChatGPT. We inputted all this information, the demographic, the psychographics, and then asked ChatGPT, hey, with all this information, we want you to role play this character. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Past all that, we need you to create an image for this person. And that's who is that I'm working on. At least one of my classmates' version of this character that we had to create. So, Ileana Brooks. Money and living. My parents rent a house for $2,000 a month. I make about $20,000 per year, and with my parents, we make about $42,500 per year. My credit score is 832. Damn, she's doing better than me. But I currently have about $15,000 in debt. Okay. Monthly, I spend about $400 on groceries and about $120 on clothes and fun stuff, about $200 on subscription and food delivery, about $125 when I go to restaurants. Okay. Decent, but it's not too bad. And now to get a proper introduction to who Ileana is. Hi, I'm Ileana. I'm 16 and I'm building my life around fashion, content, and figuring out things as I go. I live at home with my family and spend most of my time balancing school, social life, and working as a fashion influencer. My days aren't super structured, but that's kind of how I like it. I follow whatever feels relevant or inspiring in the moment, which that's actually key. I need to actually highlight that because that's actually super. Fashion is a huge part of who I am. I love putting outfits together, finding new pieces, and creating content that reflects my style. A lot of what I do revolves around staying current and keeping things fresh, whether that's through positive browsing or inspiration or just experimenting with new looks. It's not about clothes, it's about how I present myself and how people respond to that. So, keep this in mind, because for the toy that I have, it's a keychain based. We'll get into the details of that, but so far from what we have picked up, she follows the crowd to an extent, and she wants to make sure that whatever she gets basically improves upon her appearance or can get a little bit more attention to where it might put her, I wouldn't say higher up at the top for like influencing, but essentially people will start to seek her out for certain trends, because if she's on top of it before a lot of other people, that'll just give her more reason to continue to follow that system, if that makes sense. That may have not have made sense. In my head it did, because I tried to explain it, because I felt like a sting about it, but anyways. I'm very social, both online and in real life. I spend a lot of time on social media, not just for work, but also for staying connected and keeping up with trends. Okay. Again, I like going out, trying new food, and being around people, but even those moments often turn into content. It's hard to separate from what I'm doing from how I might be seen. And that's kind of the environment I'm used to. Okay. At the same time, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I can be impulsive, especially with spending, and I don't always plan things out as much as I probably should. I tend to prioritize what feels important in the moment, whether that's buying something for content or just doing what makes me feel better right then. Okay, that's actually very, very key for me to take note of as well. I stay pretty positive overall, but there's definitely some stress around keeping up and making sure I don't fall behind. Okay, that also key. Outside of everything, I try to enjoy the small things. I like spending time with my pets, relaxing at home, or just having a moment to reset. I wouldn't say I have everything figured out, but I'm confident that I'll get where I want to go. For now, I'm focused on growing, staying relevant, and making the most of where I am. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, isn't it? Okay, so to go ahead and further a little bit more of the understanding of what it is that we have for this character. Who are we trying to empathize with? This is, who is the person, what is their situation they're in, and what is their role. This is an empathy map in terms of stuff that helps me take off my shoes and put on her shoes to understand better who she is and how she looks at life. When you get involved in trying to create products for people, you gotta obviously step outside the perspective of how it is that you see things. Oh, I'm just doing this because I like it, how it looks. No, like, you want to essentially create things that have intent, right? So this was an old game that I bought way back in Target that's created by Funko. And when I look back and reflect upon this, for one, I don't know how to play this fucking game. But two, I really like this artboard and all this color and design, because for me, I grew up big on games like Godzilla Melee, a GameCube game that was a whole fighting of big kaiju monsters with variety and whatnot. And it brought back good memories that for me to have and keep, I went with it. Now, to answer the first question, Eliana Brooks, she's a teenager who is deeply into fashion and uses her social media to follow trends and create trends. She's doing everything to stay relevant. 2, what is the desired outcome? What do they need to do differently? What decisions do they need to make? Okay. She would purchase this toy to be the first in a trend and feature this in her social media. She needs to feel like she's not being left behind, no matter the financial cost. Now, that's scary right there. I'm gonna tell you right now. Because my toy design essentially is modeled after about, I want to say, 3 things. The customizational perks that the game Fall Guys offers in terms of head, body, legs, right? 2, I know I have the paper here. Let me see. Let me actually pull it up just to be better proactive with the information that I'm delivering. I gotta use the restroom too here in a little bit, man. There you are. So, Matryoshka, Russian dolls, Fall Guys, and I guess the third one, if you will, is that I didn't write down, was Labubus. So Labubus, obviously, something that was essentially, I can't remember what toy it is that my teacher said it was modeled after, but it has the same concept that was just basically rebranded for a newer generation. And for me, what I'm doing that's something a little bit more community based, connection based. Well, we actually also have what it is that we have to follow. So it has to be community, identity, trendy. No, well, not actually here. Those are not the real ones. The real ones are connection, eco-friendly, and identity. So I have to follow those concepts when I'm creating this toy. As I was saying, actually I'll probably get back to that point. Let's finish up on this map, so then from there I can present the concept that I have for the toy and get done with all this other stuff that I need to do. What do they see at home, in the marketplace, friends, family doing, buying? What are they seeing and watching and reading? Super important questions. When shopping, she is looking for clothing and accessories on social media. She sees current fashion trends. She looks for interesting and out of the norm patterns, textures, and materials in clothing that may be able to leverage into a new trend. With the idea of this toy, it's gonna be something that's gonna be more so an accessory or an add-on to the current outfit that you got. A lot of people like to be a little bit more casual. Other people like to be a little bit more high-end. Other people like to be a bit more urban, we'll call it. Which, for me, so far, I want to say Eliana is looking to be like a perfect client, because it leaves me with a couple options of how it is that I could go about tackling this. Oh, here we go. This way of packaging. So I can either go for something a little bit more, and this is for reference based. I only bought these for reference based to get a better idea. So when I go to present, we could do something that's a little bit more obvious. Shows you what it is that you're buying, because people they obviously want to know what it is that they buy. And something that I can essentially model after like the Labubus in terms of color possibly, and then packaging. Or if not, still the same thing, but just a different form of going about it. In terms of like the figure's gonna be like a 4" by a 4" by a 4" by a 4" that I can present in this way. Cool little illustration and graphics with the actual doll just laid up right there, and then past that, what I could do different outside of this one, because this one doesn't even show other figures, is we could show one version of the figure, another version of the figure, another version of the figure, and then we could probably do like 3 or 5 to kind of show variety. And the thing that I like so far about this toy concept is that I haven't yet to see anybody tackle on this type of idea. Which I do, but I don't want to give out, because the moment that I do, and I don't have the money, if somebody has the money to do it, I'm happy for you, but it's also like, I would have loved to try that. Anyways, onward. What do they say? What can we imagine them saying? What have we heard them say? She tries to put on a good spin on things. That's good. Especially on her social media. Being genuinely optimistic. Beautiful. That was my comment. Beautiful. Genuinely optimistic. She tries to show that everything is great even if it may not be. That's great advice for a lot of the people that may or may not apply it. Try that. It helps you. It can change a lot.